Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News, the show that gets you started for the rest of the day with all the latest news. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Let us begin by taking a look at the headlines that we are tracking right now. Suspense continues over government formation in Jammu and Kashmir. National Conference Chief Omar Abdullah says there is no deal or discussion with the BJP. Union Minister Sushma Swaraj says only an anti-conversion law will end programs like Ghar Vapsi. VHP claims over 50 Christian families voluntarily converted in Kerala. Cold wave conditions intensify in North India. Fog grounds many flights and train services in Delhi and other cities. And on the 10th anniversary of tsunami, memorial services and prayer services for the victims on the shores of the Indian Ocean. Nations take stock of safety steps. The big story that we are tracking this morning, the National Conference has tried to scorch speculation about supporting the BJP in formation of a new government in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Last night, outgoing Chief Minister Omar Abdullah categorically said that there was no deal or discussion going on between his National Conference and the BJP on the issue. Omar took to Twitter to make the assertion. He also hoped that someone from the PDP, BJP and Congress would form a government quickly so that he did not have to deny the rumors. Omar's remarks came after an entire day of persistent reports that he met BJP President Amit Shah in the national capital. The BJP, however, denied that. Let's take a look at the political events as they unfolded yesterday.
Whether the BJP will try and form the government in Kashmir with one of the two major regional parties, that was the focus of some of its top leaders on Thursday. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that the 25 newly elected BJP MLAs have left it to the party President Amit Shah to decide the future course of action. Jaitley appeared confident when he said that there are several options open for BJP to form the next government.
एक प्रस्ताव पारित करके इन सब विषयों के ऊपर पार्टी ने सेंट्रल लीडरशिप यानी राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी के ऊपर छोड़ा है कि इस राजनीतिक परिस्थिति में सरकार बनाने का जो एक प्रश्न है उस पे पार्टी क्या भूमिका निभाएगी ये राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी तय करें.
PDP with 28 MLAs is the single largest party in the valley. But the party has not made any significant move to hunt for allies yet. A post-poll alliance between BJP and PDP would ensure a government with majority. However, Congress hasn't given up yet on an alliance with PDP.
We have offered our support to PDP, that Congress is ready to support PDP. But it looks to me quite strange that any Kashmir-based political party, be PDP or be, for that matter, National Conference, thinking of supporting BJP is something new for the people of Kashmir.
On Thursday morning, former Chief Minister Omar Abdullah reportedly met senior BJP leaders, triggering speculation of a possible tie-up with National Conference, which won 15 seats. Though BJP denied the meeting, sources said that the leaders agreed to discuss the pros and cons of a tie-up with their parties. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
An External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj says that an anti-conversion law would automatically stop programs like the controversial Ghar Vapsi initiative. She was quoted as saying this on a visit to Bhopal yesterday. Sushma Swaraj also pointed out the anti-conversion law enacted in Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat did not violate the spirit of constitution since it did not stop conversions by choice. The Union Minister's comments come amid fresh reports that conversions took place during a VHP Ghar Vapsi program in Kerala. Reports state that over 50 Christian families were converted to Hinduism. Kerala VHP functionaries were quoted as saying that none of these families were forcibly converted. And in other news, North India reeled under severe cold conditions with the mercury plummeting in several places. Almost 12 people died since last night. 9 of these deaths were in Uttar Pradesh and 3 in Punjab. Here is a report.
Biting cold saw temperatures dropping below normal in most areas. Intense cold and dense fog affected normal life across the region. Many parts were enveloped with fog, crippling road, rail and air traffic. Reports say that over Wednesday and Thursday, the cold accounted for nearly 70 deaths.
रैन बसेरे पे रहते हैं, यहाँ ना कोई साधन है ना कुछ, और कल एक लेबर भी खत्म हो गया ठंड के कारण.
National capital Delhi and Chandigarh recorded a minimum temperature of 6 degrees Celsius. Lucknow is at 5, while Kanpur is at 6 degrees. Leh was -9 degrees, while Srinagar at -4 degrees Celsius saw most water bodies freeze in the state. Shimla and Manali had 4 and -2 degrees Celsius.
नेक्स्ट जेडे 2-3 डेज है उसमें फॉग डेंस फॉग होएगी आइसोलेटेड प्लेसेस पे पंजाब में, और वेदर है जो इस तरह ही कोल्ड और ड्राई रहेगा.
Snowfall in the hilly areas of Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh is the reason for the sudden dip of temperatures. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, it was a somber Christmas in Assam yesterday, where the backlash to the recent militant attacks continued for the second day. The number of dead has gone up to 78 as Home Minister Rajnath Singh called for an all-out offensive against the militants. He also ordered an NIA probe into the killings. The centre has rushed more paramilitary forces amid reports of retaliatory clashes.
Fresh incidents of violence occurred in Kokrajhar, Assam on Thursday, despite an indefinite curfew in the district. Several houses were set ablaze. The carnage by Bodo militants and the resulting retaliatory attacks have taken the death toll to 78.
না চারজন পাওয়া নাই,
চারজন নিখোঁজ হয়ে আছে।
নিখোঁজ হয়ে আছে।
আপনাদের ডেড বডি কালি সন্ধিয়ার পরে ইয়াতে পৰি আছে।
হ্যাঁ এতে পৰি আছে।
আৰক্ষী বা সেনা বাহিনী কোন আহিছিল ইয়াত?
না
আহা নাই।
আহা নাই।
এই যাই তাৰমানে উগ্ৰপন্থী বিলাক কিমান আছিল?
কিমান জন আছিল দলত?
10-12 জন আছিল।
10-12 জন। আহি কিবা কৈছে নেকি আপোনালোকক?
আহি ওই যে দুজনে যে মারা গেছে ডাক দিছিল, ডাক দেওয়ার লগে লগে তো গুলি মারছে।
Home Minister visited the affected areas in Assam on Thursday, calling off all talks with groups like NDFBS. Rajnath Singh promised an all-out offensive against the militants. The centre has rushed 5,000 paramilitary personnel at the request of Assam government. Indian Army has deployed helicopters to step up the offensive against NDFBS. Rajnath Singh has declared that the NIA will probe the attacks.
आतंकवाद से जैसे निपटा जाता है वैसे ही इससे भी राज्य सरकार और केंद्र सरकार निपटेंगी, और हमारी बहुत ही स्पष्ट नीति है, जीरो टॉलरेंस टू टेररिज्म. और मैं आज यह भी क्लैरिफाई कर देना चाहता हूं, ऐसे संगठनों से हमारी कोई बातचीत नहीं होगी, कोई डायलॉग नहीं होगा.
केंद्रीय मंत्री वापस आके एक नेशनल एक काउंटर टेररिज्म एक पॉलिसी बनाएंगे, एक सेंटर खोलेंगे, जिससे हम आगे बढ़ के जो हमारा कोऑर्डिनेशन की जरूरत है उस पर हम ज्यादा ध्यान दे पाएंगे.
Curfew remains imposed in the affected areas of Kokrajhar, Sonitpur and Chirang districts, along with parts of Dhubri and Buxa district as precautionary measure. 3 relief camps have been set up in neighbouring Alipurdwar district of West Bengal for refugees leaving their homes in Assam. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, we'll take a very short break here. Much more on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back after the break. Now, the government celebrated Good Governance Day yesterday, marking the birthday of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in his Lok Sabha constituency of Varanasi, reiterating his commitment to transparency and effective governance. And he focused strongly on his pet Swachh Abhiyan for the city. Here is more.
A key emphasis, Swachhata, that the Prime Minister has stressed is at the foundation of a developed India. Modi undertook several key initiatives in Varanasi as part of nationwide Good Governance Day celebrations being held by his government. In bylanes near the river Ganges in the city and at the Assi Ghat, Modi inspected the cleanliness drive that's part of the bigger Swachh Bharat Abhiyan that he launched on his previous visit here. For the nationwide cleanliness program, he also named additions to the list of personalities to take it forward.
नवंबर में जब मैं आया था तो मैंने यहाँ पर श्रमानुभव का कार्यक्रम प्रारंभ किया था. लोगों ने, सामाजिक संस्थाओं ने, नगर निगम ने, सरकार ने इसे एक महत्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रम माना, और आज हम देख रहे हैं कि सफाई के कारण जो घाट कभी मिट्टी के ढेर थे वो अपने पुराने सौंदर्य के साथ मां गंगा के सामने प्रस्तुत है।
At the Banaras Hindu University, Modi paid tributes to its founder Madan Mohan Malviya on his 153rd birth anniversary. A decision to confer the Bharat Ratna on Malviya was taken on Wednesday. The Prime Minister inaugurated the Inter-University Centre for Teachers' Education. Modi said creating dedicated educationists was central to taking the country forward. He also held out a mantra for the people of Varanasi.
क्या बनारस की कुछ स्कूल इसके लिए स्कूल हो कॉलेज हो आगे आ सकते हैं क्या? और बनारस के जीवन पर ही एक विषय पर एक स्कूल की मास्टरी हो। काशी में आया हुआ टूरिस्ट वो आएगा हमारे पूर्वजों के प्रयासों के कारण, बाबा भोलेनाथ के कारण आएगा, मां गंगा के कारण आएगा, लेकिन रुकेगा हमारे प्रयासों के कारण। मैं अनुभव से कहता हूं, 6 महीने के कम समय के मेरे अनुभव से कहता हूं, पूरा विश्व भारत की ओर देख रहा है, हम तैयार नहीं।
From cleanliness to education to the industry aspect of governance. The third leg of Modi's day-long visit at the diesel locomotive works on the outskirts of Varanasi focused on economic development. The potential of the Make in India campaign, rejection of privatization plans for the railways and inauguration of 4 rail universities were the highlight announcements. As the Prime Minister termed the railways the backbone of the nation's economic development, alongside a joint pledge on devotion to good governance. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And on a day the centre observed Good Governance Day, several ministers took up the broom to join the Clean India campaign. Health Minister JP Nadda, Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu and Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari were prominent names among them. BJP President Amit Shah also wielded the broom in Delhi to join the initiative.
स्वच्छता अभियान जो आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने चलाया है, स्वच्छ भारत का, इसमें लोगों को जोड़ने का विषय है और इसको जन आंदोलन के रूप में लेने का विषय है और ये जन आंदोलन के रूप में बन चुका है। लोग इसमें सेंसिटाइज हुए हैं, लोग इसमें इन्वॉल्व हुए हैं, खुद सफाई रखने के प्रति उनकी जागरूकता बढ़ी है।
बहुत सारे समय ऐसा होता है कि जो बड़ा स्टेशन होता है वो तो साफ सुथरा रहता है, लेकिन जो जितना बड़ा नहीं उतना ज़्यादा साफ सुथरा नहीं होता। इसके लिए हमारी ये इच्छा है कि सब जगह पर, जो बड़े हो छोटे हो, दूर जाने वाली ट्रेन हो, कुछ छोटे समय की सफ़र करने वाली ट्रेन हो, प्रीमियम ट्रेन हो या ऑर्डिनरी पैसेंजर ट्रेन हो, सब जगह में सुविधाएं जो है वो अच्छी होनी चाहिए।
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भारत स्वच्छ अभियान की भी शुरुआत की है। विशेष रूप से हमारे अस्पताल अच्छे रहे, साफ सुथरे रहे, वहाँ दवाइयाँ मिले।
Now, Science and Technology Minister Harshvardhan yesterday launched an SMS-based warning system which will provide alerts on cyclones, tsunami and other weather-related natural calamities. Inaugurating the system on the occasion of Good Governance Day yesterday, Harshvardhan said that information on warnings will be disseminated to officials involved in administration as well as to fishermen, farmers and general public. He said that this exercise is a part of Prime Minister's Digital India program. One of the components of the program is to create an SMS-based weather information and disaster alert system.
कोई भी डिजास्टर आने वाला है, उसकी सूचना टेक्स्ट के माध्यम से पहुंचाना, कुछ महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ों के बारे में डिटेल में शिक्षित करना, ताकि हम खाली सूचना ही ना पहुंचाने की स्थिति में हो, सूचना के साथ साथ उस सूचना का उपयोग कैसे करना।
Now, 4G technology and mobile tower servicing have become the latest cause for concern, both for the health of the people and also for the environment. Now, loopholes in current mobile radiation regulation policy have actually multiplied the risk on both the counts. Let's take a look at this report.
With 50 crore cell phones in the country, today every second Indian owns a cell phone. The focus is now on 4G services, which are not adequately covered by the mobile radiation regulation policy. Loopholes in present policy with regards to 4G services have emboldened operators to increase the number of towers and presumably the dangers of radiation as well.
That is, the Indian towers radiate at only 1/10 the power that the towers in USA or Europe radiate at.
In 2013, an interministerial committee found that microwave radiation impacts health of users by raising body temperature.
Then there is a lot of public interest litigation has been filed in various high courts all across the country, and the Supreme Court has consolidated these and is hearing petitions on the safety of the electromagnetic frequencies.
Exposure to low-level emissions causes burning and tingling sensations on the skin of the head. It also causes fatigue, dizziness, memory loss, affects concentration and causes digestive upsets. Finally, the report even concludes that cell phone towers may have caused butterflies, bees, insects and sparrows to vanish.
Look at the Environment Protection Act as an umbrella legislation. And whether courts should intervene or not, why not? In case you want to err, then err on the side of caution. And that's what even the NGT Act says,
In the absence of a policy framework, several activists have approached high courts in states like Rajasthan and Kerala. Both high courts asked operators to remove towers, even as operators challenged their order in the Supreme Court. Rajkamal Rao's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Let us take a look at all the other national news that we are tracking in nationwide. Well, central government employees have got 4 more months till April next year to file details of their assets and liabilities under the Lokpal rules. The forms for providing such declarations are also being revised by the centre. The Department of Personnel and Training extended the date from 31st of December. The move comes following concerns raised by some bureaucrats regarding putting details of their assets and liabilities, including that of their family members, in public domain. The Congress yesterday appointed party MLA from Punjab, Amrinder Singh Raja Brar, as the president of Indian Youth Congress. Brar replaces Maharashtra MP Rajiv Sattav. His appointment is likely to be followed by a revamp of the organisation. Congress MP from Hingoli in Maharashtra, Sattav's term as the Youth Congress chief has ended some days back. A constable was killed and 2 other Jawans were injured in a Maoist assault in Itkori in Chatra district of Jharkhand. The Maoist attacked a police party, triggering an encounter near Bhadrakali temple near Itkori police station. The injured were admitted to a hospital in Hazaribagh. A powerful IED near a BSF post in Manipur's capital Imphal sent a wave of fear in the region on Christmas Day. There were no injuries. The motive is not clear at the moment. Police suspect a timer was used to trigger the explosion near the 49 BSF post located at the Lai Koi Ching area. No group has so far claimed responsibility for the attack. Well, a decade ago, one of the largest earthquakes ever recorded struck off the coast of Indonesia, triggering a tsunami that swept away entire communities around the Indian Ocean. About 3 lakh people were killed. 10 years on, many coastal towns and villages have rebuilt their communities and their lives, but the disaster still leaves an imprint mark on Southeast Asia. Prayers and memorial services on the shores of the Indian Ocean on the 10th anniversary of the tsunami, the disaster that has left an indelible mark on the region. The WHO called for strong response and preparedness to deal with natural disasters.
The greatest mortality from natural disasters and outbreaks is really in the regions of Southeast Asia region. And therefore, it's extremely important that countries take their response and their preparedness very strongly. We in the region have been pressing more for preparedness.
On 26th of December 2004, a 9.1 magnitude earthquake off Indonesia's western coast sparked a series of towering waves that triggered destruction across 14 countries as far apart as Indonesia, Thailand, India, Sri Lanka and Somalia. Close to 3 lakh people were swallowed by the sea. The Indonesian province of Aceh, close to the quake epicenter, was the worst hit. Thousands gathered at the Great Mosque, one of the few structures in the town to survive the tsunami, for the prayers.
Dan ini membuat masyarakat mengenang kembali tsunami dan bersyukur atas keselamatan ini semua. Karena tsunami juga di samping musibah juga membawa berkah.
Many commemoration ceremonies are due to take place across the region on Friday as well. In India too, while a number of lessons have been learned with regard to public awareness of tsunamis, India's infrastructural preparedness has improved. It has a state-of-the-art tsunami early warning system in place. Yet, many of the tsunami survivors have still not recovered their lives fully.
அது வருமதான் எங்களுக்கு ஆனா அந்த நேரம் நிறைய குடும்பம் பாதிப்பு நிறைய குழந்தைங்க நிறைய பெரியவங்க எல்லாம் செத்தாங்க ஆனா இருந்ததெல்லாம் போயிடுச்சு அது அதுங்களுக்கு எல்லாமே ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல எல்லாம் போயிடுச்சு அரசாங்கம் நிறைய உதவிங்க பண்ணி இருக்குது
இந்த ஏரியா விட்டு போறா போல இல்ல யாரும் என்ன முன்னொரு சுனாமி வந்தா கூட சந்திக்கிறதுக்கு தயாரா தான் இருக்கிறாங்க ஜனங்க முன்னொரு சுனாமி வந்தா எல்லாம் அழிவு வந்தா ஒரு ஐடியா வரட்டுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தான் அதே போலதான் இருக்கிறாங்க எங்களுக்கு இதே இடத்துல அவசியம் போட்டு கட்டி மதில் கட்டி கொடுங்க.
A number of drill sessions are going to be held in many countries to develop disaster awareness among vulnerable communities. However, there are still concerns about the region's preparedness for another tsunami. Bureau Report, Rajya, Sabha TV. And India witnessed unrestrained festivities on Christmas. The President, the Vice President greeted people on the joyous occasion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted, "May this day enhance the spirit of harmony, peace and brotherhood in the society."
Special prayers, mass in churches, carols and a lavish spread of traditional, delicious food. That's how Christians across India celebrated the birth of Jesus Christ. Christmas celebrations began on a religious note from Wednesday night as people thronged churches for the midnight mass. Delhi saw a chilly Christmas with temperatures plummeting nearly 2 degrees, well below the season's average of 6 degrees. But that certainly did not deter the Christmas fervour as thousands flocked to different churches and cathedrals in the city.
It's the time that we share the happiness, peace and love of the Lord Jesus Christ with everyone. And we pray for our great country also.
In South India, the day was celebrated with usual gaiety and fervour in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The Christian community ushered in the Christmas cheer with prayers, meditation and traditional rituals. In Kolkata too, the day was celebrated with much joy and fervour. Day-long prayers at the city's century-old St. Paul's Cathedral drew huge crowds, cutting across religious divides. However, in the northeast, it was a low-scale Christmas due to the brutal massacre of more than 70 tribal people by the Bodo militants. The Christian community in the region ushered in the day with special prayers of stability and safety over there. President Pranab Mukherjee, Vice President Muhammad Hamid Ansari and Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended Christmas greetings to people with the hope that the festival will enhance the spirit of harmony, peace and brotherhood in the society. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And on Christmas Day, Pope Francis used his traditional Christmas address to emphasize the plight of children in areas of conflict. He said that a vast number of children today are victims of violence, objects of trade and trafficking, or forced to become soldiers, and they need to be saved. The Pope also spoke of children displaced due to war and persecution, abused and taken advantage of before our very eyes, and our complicit silence.
Christmas fervour across the world. St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican bustled with people from across the world together to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ.
Pope Francis held a solemn Christmas Eve Mass, urging the world to be open to God. In his traditional Christmas Day address, he condemned violence in the name of religion.
A Lui, Salvatore del mondo, domando oggi che guardi i nostri fratelli e sorelle dell'Iraq e della Siria, che da troppo tempo soffrono gli effetti del conflitto in corso.
In Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus Christ, thousands flocked to attend the midnight mass on Christmas Eve, breaking the gloom of bloody war and rising tensions in the West Bank region. Midnight Mass took place at the Church of the Nativity in the Manga Square, which was also attended by Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Israel granted special permission to hundreds of Christian residents to leave the blockaded strip and travel to West Bank. In Syria, tight security was in place amid celebrations. People lit candles and prayed for peace and safety in the war-torn country. In Pakistan, also people celebrated Christmas amid tight security in the wake of recent Peshawar school massacre. For Cubans, this Christmas is special, the first after historic reunion between US and Cuba. People are looking forward to reunite with their loved ones in United States.
Paz, prosperidad para nuestro país, para la economía, para nuestro pueblo, que vengan cosas buenas, que la hermandad entre los dos pueblos, que nadie tiene culpa de nada, sea más fuerte y que todo nos salga bien.
In China, thousands gathered to attend the Christmas Eve Mass in Beijing. US President Barack Obama spent Christmas Eve with the Malaysian President Najib Razak playing golf at the Clipper Golf Course on Marine Corps base at Hawaii, as he held out Christmas greetings to the world.
So Merry Christmas, everybody. May God bless you all.
Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here is more international news and updates in World Wrap. Security agencies in Pakistan foiled a terrorist plan to attack Lahore's Kot Lakhpat jail. According to details, 3 terrorists, including 2 women, were arrested from Farid Colony area near the jail after tracing a call. Several death row victims are lodged in this jail. Pakistan recently lifted its moratorium on executing convicted terrorists. Russia has alleged that NATO's expansion to the east will force it to take adequate measures in response. A spokesman warned that Kiev's move towards NATO will further strain relations with Ukraine. Russia is also calling the North Korean reaction to the interview movie understandable. It says the idea behind the film is aggressive and scandalous. Israel has given preliminary approval to build 243 new homes in a settlement on West Bank land annexed to Jerusalem. It also advanced plans for another 270 homes in the area. The move is likely to aggravate Palestinians who seek statehood in Israeli-occupied territory. In a joint Christmas Eve address with First Lady Michelle Obama, US President Barack Obama reminded once again that the US mission in Afghanistan is due to end in a few days. He also said despite the end of combat in Afghanistan, the US will continue to have a limited presence. And on to cricket now. Well, on day 1 of the Boxing Day test against India, David Warner was dismissed for a duck. But Australia still managed to make 115 runs for the loss of 3 wickets after lunch. Some sloppy fielding helped Chris Rogers and Shane Watson to build up an unbeaten partnership. Team India's most costly lapse was a diving catch that Shikhar Dhawan failed to take in the slips when Watson was on 37. Earlier, Umesh Yadav removed Warner in the second over with a brilliant delivery. Dhawan claimed the catch and Ishant Sharma also made good use of the new ball, and Australia's first run only came in the 4th over. Debutant KL Rahul and Mohammad Shami have been recalled for the match. Well, that's all in this edition of the Breakfast News. But for more news and updates, keep watching Rajya Sabha TV.